Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a fantastic day. Just a reminder, I am still away. I am out traveling, but still made sure that there were videos and content for everyone out there. And without further ado, get ready for a very weird video. You guys know the drill. The cryptocurrency space is never not weird and entertaining, so yeah. Reddit co-founder, his name is Alexis Ohanian, believes that crypto, and particular Bitcoin, are here to stay despite the recent unfortunate developments in the industry, including the collapse of FTX. In a new interview with Forbes, Ohanian compared the advent of blockchain to the creation of paper. You heard that correctly. Saying that he would start to see more and more applications for the technology that would compound in value and utility over the years. He also touched on the subject of NFTs, saying that he believes this is weird. Saying that he believes generational trauma is a significant driving force in his continued commitment to NFTs and new social networks, even with the cryptocurrency market's current chilly winter storm. He cited generational trauma. Okay. Dubbing himself as a crypto pragmatist, Ohanian shared some insights from his personal life that made him double down on crypto. He revealed that his ancestors were, probably can't say any of those words. Okay, so he revealed that his people had stuff taken away from them. And as such, this is why he believes in crypto, because I assume that's a different. So anyway, this guy was recently in the news as well a couple of days ago. You might have remembered. The Reddit co-founder gigantically sprung up in popularity within the cryptocurrency space by announcing or revealing that he had acquired Ethereum for around 30 cents per coin, that he has roughly around 50,000 Ether. I think at the time it was like $68 million or something like that. And this, skyrocketed him to popularity within the cryptocurrency space. People figuring out that he was into crypto, that he had crypto, he believed in crypto, all those things. I mean, I could have told you that before. On Reddit especially, there were tons of indications that he was probably more focused on Ethereum than on Bitcoin. It's one of those things where we've heard from institutions before who were like, Bitcoin bad, Bitcoin terrible, but Ethereum, that's the future. So I think it was the same exact thing here. He was even quoted as saying, if you look at the title, he says, crypto and Bitcoin are here to stay. What does he know? Probably not that much more than we do. It's more so, I've noticed historically, when people have gigantic amounts of cryptocurrencies, of a particular cryptocurrency, they begin to believe or announce that that one crypto is great, is amazing, is going to make it around forever. So we can probably, I would safely assume, he probably has more than 10 Bitcoin. Dare I say 100 Bitcoin? If you have 50,000 Ether, you probably have some Bitcoin up in there as well. Super popular news. This guy will say something else in 3.5 weeks, and that'll also be very popular because that's how the cryptocurrency news works. That's the Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian. Believes that crypto is here to stay. Surprising, right? I mean, anyway. I mean, he wouldn't be like, yeah, my 50,000 Ether are going to be worth nothing. News. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in confusing news, Zambia's central bank and security regulators are currently testing technology to regulate cryptocurrencies. This was said by a Zambian government minister, Felix Mutati, that is M-U-T-A-T-I, Zambia's Minister of Technology and Science, said that the country's central bank and the Securities and Exchange Commission are working on testing technology to regulate cryptocurrencies. The minister recently remarked that cryptocurrency is a revolutionary technology that represents the future that his country aspires to achieve. Mutati also said that regulatory technology testing will soon be scaled up as part of an effort to help Zambia achieve an inclusive economy. Furthermore, the ministry stated that Zambia, which aspires to be the region's technology hub, is already putting in place the infrastructure required to help the country achieve this target. Here's the real news. Though the Bank of Zambia has previously discouraged the use of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Mutati's remarks suggest that the administration of President, that's a long name, is warming to cryptocurrency. No, understand, it's always the same over and over. And I hope at this point everyone else out there has stopped falling for this nonsense. Every government, every company, institution, whatever, I don't care who they are, you name it. Whenever they've come out openly in heavy opposition of cryptocurrencies, whenever they told their people, their clients, other companies, you not to get into crypto, they always at some point pivot and say crypto's one of the greatest things in the entire world. These people at some point said cryptocurrencies were terrible. They're horrible. No one should get into it. I don't live in that country, but I assume at some point someone whispered the illegal word and or restricted or you can't use it or it's banned. And I always, and I don't even assume this anymore, this tells me that behind the scenes, the government was so terrified not of people using cryptocurrencies, but there being a rush by citizens to procure and acquire as many of these coins as humanly possible. And as such, as now the government has a huge amount for themselves, and I assume the government ministers, etc., etc., it's just complete logic. It keeps happening over and over. And I think even weirder, if I didn't have and didn't make this channel and didn't go over the news every day, I think that news like this would also surprise me and give me like a glimmer of hope. And I'd be like, wow, that's so crazy. Like, because you would only hear that cryptocurrencies are like moving forward and being accepted. I'd be like, wow, how far we've come. But every single time, and especially from the banks, that's what gets me the most. We know that banks are terrible, but everyone just assumed that they weren't lying since 2014, saying that Bitcoin and crypto were terrible and horrible and no one should be using it. And now all the banks are trying to get into it. They're trying to figure out ways of even, and the term isn't even regulating. It's more they're trying to figure out a way that allows citizens to get into the technology, but they want it to flow through their systems. When you talk about regulating crypto inside of a country, it's not that they just want people to simply pay taxes. They want an approximate estimate of how much you are supposed to pay them. And this is why I think there's also news here as well. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. About countries who are trying to make their own cryptocurrency exchanges. Why? It's not that they don't think that Coinbase, Binance, or Kraken are unsafe. Is that the government knows that if you use those platforms, every time you trade a coin, they make a portion of money. That portion of money, as we've heard from other crypto exchanges, amounts to billions of dollars. The government doesn't want you to give your billions of dollars away to Coinbase or Kraken or Binance. They want all of that money. It's always crystal clear. So make sure that when you hear news like this, any day that we hear that cryptocurrencies aren't being banned is a great day. But always not even read between the lines, just read the actual lines. They've all told their citizens and you before that crypto is bad, it's illegal, it's terrible. But now they're all strangely jumping in headfirst to the market. So cool. I wish them the best of luck. I'm not sure exactly what technology they're testing to regulate crypto, but I can almost assure you it is probably them trying to make their own cryptocurrency exchange so that they can tell people that the other ones are evil, but use ours. They're far, far better. News. All right. Let's move on. Sure, why not? Music streaming platform Spotify is apparently, allegedly, weirdly, wink, expanding into Web3 by testing a token-enabled playlist in several key markets. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Overlord, a Web3 gaming ecosystem, announced their partnership with Spotify on the 22nd of February. The token-enabled community-curated playlist from Overlord may now be accessed via Web3 wallets of those who hold the Creeps, that's Creep with a Z, Creeps, NFT on Spotify. Only Android users from the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia, and New Zealand can unlock the playlist. And for those of you wondering why only Android, I've heard that so many times. And I've noticed it's mainly from the United States, the United Kingdom, and there's one other country that really loves Apple products. For those of you who don't know, Apple has a closed loop system. Whereas with Android, things are more open. You can kind of even change and configure your phone how you want with downloadable online programs and platforms. Apple, you cannot, or you can, but you void your warranty. Everything is completely, Apple has a very fixed loop on all of their things. This is why, if you've ever noticed, if you have an iPhone and you own a Windows computer, it's difficult to drag and put files on it, vice versa. Even if you're using iTunes, it seems a little bit more difficult. It's because they want you to own only Apple products, and this is when things become far more seamless because all the Apple things are working together. There are actually tons of lawsuits, for those of you who don't know this, there are actually tons of lawsuits against Apple right now for being the only company on the planet who has changed their the word's not electrical outlets, like the plug where you would charge your computer. Like theirs are completely different than every other company on the planet, and they're trying to, anyway, long story short, governments are trying to make them normalize it to make their systems the same exact way as everyone else's, so that people don't have to like buy a new phone every year. Because Apple also, for those of you who missed that, you can look it up, Apple has been sued by multiple countries, not companies, because we found out that, this isn't even allegedly, every single time that they released a new phone, they released new firmware, so like a brand new update, and that brand new update actually caused the older model to slow down on purpose. We were told that, oh, it's a brand new system and the old phone can't handle it. No, it's a new system that was meant to go slower on your device on purpose. Look it up. It's all there. It's really, really crazy. So anyway, this is why, bringing it back to the point, this is why it's only Android, because Android is far more open, but Apple phones most certainly are not. Look it up. Other participants in the 3-month pilot are the Fluff, Moonbirds, and Kingship metaverse communities. While Fluff and Moonbirds didn't share any details on their partnership with the streaming services publicly, Kingship confirmed its partnership in a pilot on Twitter. To unlock the track list, including hits by Queen, Missy Elliott, Snoop Dogg, and Led Zeppelin, users have to possess a Kingship keycard NFT. Okay. The announcement triggered a surge in Web3 tokens and yada, yada, yada. So apparently also since May of last year, Spotify has been testing NFTs on their platform. There was no way to purchase them, but you were able to view an artist's NFT on OpenSea as well. Cool. I think this is not news so much as it is logic. Every single company is trying to get into the cryptocurrency, NFT, Web3 space at the exact same time. NFTs are here to stay. They're going to be big. They're going to continue to be big. But now we're seeing them like actively being integrated into basically every single thing that has to do with anything kind of digital. Also continue to keep in mind that if you do plan on using these new futuristic Web3 systems that these companies are offering, that in the course of doing so, you are still able to have ownership of your actual assets in that. You don't want a situation where you put something onto Spotify or you buy something on Spotify and you can't move your Moonbird, your Overlord, your Fluff, your Kingship, your NFT back off of the platform, or it kind of just simply rests there. That is not a good thing. So yeah, very big news, as you might have expected. Spotify is testing token-enabled music playlists. Pretty exclusive, if you will. Basically, you have to have the thing that they want you to have in order to be able to even listen to the music. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Yeah, that's the Spotify news. Let's move on. So I'm gonna try not to rant, and I think I can do a pretty good job. This happened a couple of days ago. The Ethereum destroyer, can't say the other word, Solana, unexpectedly, I told you this was going to happen. Solana stopped processing almost all transactions. Its throughput dropped by 99% in no time. Developers and validators apparently investigated the collapse of the database as it wasn't happening. It says, while the community is enraged. When this happened, once again, I'm away traveling, but I was writing on Twitter with a bunch of people. Hello to you out there who we were all talking on my Twitter thread. And I tried to be as nice as humanly possible. You have to understand, this is now the 11th, that is 11th time that this has happened to Solana since January of 2022. And I saw someone joking about it, and I didn't know whether to laugh or what. Somebody was like, at least it's less than one per month. This entire project is garbage. This entire project doesn't work. I'm not sure how people have convinced themselves of anything otherwise. I don't know what you've been told. I'm not sure why people continue to stay in this project or believe that it's going to do very big things. We're not even going through an actual bull run, like a hyper bull market right now. We're not talking about crazy prices. I don't get how you continue to even think of staying inside of a project. Someone said on Twitter as well, somebody was like, nobody cares. And I don't know if that was them being mean to me, or the way that I read it was like, no one cares because everyone's just simply trying to make money. But I don't understand how you can have, that's like buying an apartment, that's like buying a house that has no infrastructure. It has no windows. Like, it looks dilapidated and being like, somebody's going to want to rent that. And then after 11 months of no one renting it, and like the floorboards, people keep falling through them, you're like, it's still a house though. Like it's still going to work. If Bitcoin had one instance of freezing, stopping, not working, people would have rioted. That would have been the biggest news story about how terrible Bitcoin is, how horrible, yada, yada, yada. If Ethereum 5 times over the course of 1 year had stopped working, didn't work, no transactions were going through, had to be restarted, they restarted Solana. You can't restart a blockchain. You can restart a database. If XRP, now I know someone just looked up, if XRP had frozen, gone offline, stopped working, I think this particular instance that's on the screen, I think Solana stopped working for 14 hours. If XRP had stopped working for 35 and a half minutes, people would have completely gone crazy talking about this crappy garbage coin. Why is anyone using it? I told you it was centralized. How have you all hung on this long to this project? Once again, and I need to reiterate this very strongly, this is not financial advice, so please feel free to keep any of this coin that you have. I am not telling you to sell it. I'm trying to give you a window into logic that only you can open. I'm showing you the window. It's your chance to open it and climb through it. 11 times in a year and 2 months. How did they manage to convince you so strongly that this project was worthy or not garbage or was actually usable? That's the part that I don't get. It says on the 25th of February, 2023, the Solana blockchain faced network issues. It stopped validating user transactions at around 6 a.m. UTC. Public block explorers registered a 99% network degradation. Solana's transactional bandwidth dropped from 4,300 to 42 transactions per second. Someone sent me something and they said it's still 3 times as much as Ethereum. Those are called mental gymnastics, and people tend to do them. We've all done them at one time or another. You see that something terrible is taking place, and you say, well, at least it's not as bad as what's happening across the street, because it makes you feel better for whatever the case might be. So this will continue happening. We are going to hear about Solana breaking down or stopping or just not doing what it's supposed to do. But I do hope that you take these things into account when figuring out if you would continue staying. Like, think of any other project, any other coin. I don't know how the brainwashing got this strong. If I heard that Cardano had broken down 4 times in 2022, I would have been like, okay, guys, I do personally have ADA. I would have sold it immediately. If I had heard that Bitcoin broke down 11 times, think of that. Think of the number 11. 1 time is like, okay, cool. The developers may not have known what they were doing. 5 times is like, can you guys clean that up? Because something seems to be terribly wrong. But I would still be optimistic. Bitcoin transacts trillions of dollars per year. 11 times is like, listen, fool me once, fool me 11 times. Why do I still have my money in this project? So when we hear about this happening again, apparently this all took place because of a hard fork that I guess just was not tested as were not the other 11. So that's the Solana news. As you might have expected, this was incredibly popular. It was all over the place. Everyone was talking about it. I think I did pretty well. I usually raise my voice and or get more passionate about these things. But, I make this channel to inform you of the daily news. And I also try to give you droplets of, the word's not wisdom. It's just simply information that's out there. I told you this years ago about Tron. I told you this about Stellar Lumens. I told you this about Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's vision. You name it, you can, it's not even like a masterful way of being able to sift through garbage. You can tell when something's wrong if it keeps freezing and stops working over and over. There's no other real, like, imagine your internet at home broke down 11 times per month. You would be looking for another internet provider. You wouldn't simply go, it's fine, it's just the internet, At least we have internet like 4 hours out of the day. That's the Solana news. I'm not sure how this has a market cap over $1 million. I am not sure, but that's the cryptocurrency space. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in the news, the Republic of Indonesia has reportedly proposed launching a national digital asset exchange, they say, to rehabilitate the crypto sector and confront the risks posed by FTX. 3 seconds, and I know you all just got it. Why would a country want to start their own cryptocurrency exchange? Do you think they actually want to, and I air quotes, rehabilitate the crypto sector? Do you think they actually care about crypto exchanges like FTX? Or do you think they're using FTX as a diversion to say, oh no, we cannot let that happen again. We have to make sure that when people use crypto, it's only through our systems. Though it was announced before that the national exchange would begin in December 2022, the launch date was delayed due to undisclosed reasons. I assume, like every other country, they keep trying to make their own systems and they just don't work. This has happened many times with many other companies as well, all looking to make their own cryptocurrencies or making their own cryptocurrency exchanges. They don't know what they're doing. And a lot of times, even crazier, this happened 2, 3, 4 years ago. I forgot what country it was. The country was trying to figure out a way to make a national cryptocurrency exchange, but they didn't want it linked to blockchains. So their idea was they wanted people to be able to transact and move money in Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ether, etc. years ago, but they didn't want people to be able to take their money off of it and put it back on to the blockchain, essentially. Think of that. And I know some of you are scratching your head. It's because it's not possible. That's like saying, I want to take a train from Chicago to Florida, but I don't want it to run on tracks at any point. Like, I want the train to move forward. It can't work. You can't have people, what they wanted was, because they didn't understand it, they wanted people to interact in crypto because they thought it is something that just happens on the internet. They don't understand what a blockchain is. They think it's something similar to a website. This website on the screen, that's its own blockchain. The other tab, that's its own blockchain. They wanted all that to run within their own systems. But the idea of you being able to cash out or take your coins off and have it back on your own computer, they didn't want that. They didn't understand. And this is what a lot of countries are failing to understand. The fact that we can transact in all these things without government approval or the need of a government, and that it can be created and minted by the public, is mind-boggling to them. This is why we saw so much dirt being kicked up when FTX collapsed, because it's a very good distraction for them to be able to be like, hey, look over here, oh, that's so terrible, FTX, we can never let this happen again. Why do you think we have such a gigantic regulatory push? I'm telling you, something is weird about this entire situation. I feel like FTX collapsed not because of their own wrongdoings, because they're not the only exchange who did what they did. They're all doing the exact same thing. It feels like a very weird scapegoat. It feels like a very weird diversion to say this is happening, and now we have to definitely launch our central bank digital currencies, definitely get the cryptocurrency space under control. And now this is not the only country who's talking about launching their own country cryptocurrency exchange. Later, Zulkifli Hassan, the Minister of Trade, declared that the exchange would come into existence of June of this year. They said, let us not rush because it is not ready. Things will get messy. I'm pretty sure they tried to have some type of weird internalized system and they can't do that. The government does not want this to massively take a toll on the public before people do not know much about crypto trading, I'm sure. According to the disclosed plans, the new exchange would be in charge of separating trading, clearing, and custody under official oversight, obviously, resembling the criteria followed by the stock markets. Not really much more to read. Indonesia, at some point this time of year, will have their own country cryptocurrency exchange. I don't know if we will hear about them restricting usage of other cryptocurrency exchanges within their borders. It may not be big enough news to make it into the cryptocurrency space, but expect that that's actually what's going to happen. There are a number of countries within Southeast Asia who last year and this year have released an enormous amount of regulations within the cryptocurrency space. And many of them we have at least heard through the news are trying to get a very strong hold on crypto within their countries. They want people to use it because I assume that they understand that this is the next big money-making thing. This is the new gold rush. But once again, if you allow your citizens to use Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance, and all the trades are going through them. So in your country, I may go to Indonesia and I may buy something outside paying with Bitcoin. However, only a fraction of that transaction ends up going to the government through taxes. How do you make sure that you get nearly everything inside of the basket? You have your own nationwide cryptocurrency exchange. It's all very obvious. A lot of people don't think about these things. Like I said, any day that we hear that crypto isn't banned is an incredible day. But every time that we hear news like this, I fear for the actual idea of decentralization, which is the point of the market. I know that 99% of people don't care about freedom for anyone else out there, but we need decentralization to bring us into a new era of humanity, as ridiculous as that sounds. There are currently hear this, not 3,000, not 3 million. There are more than 3 billion people on the planet who don't have bank accounts, who don't have bank cards, who don't have access to the banking sector or the financial sector that you are privileged enough to actually be inside. And this happens because banks don't like poor people. So what happens? Somebody creates a new system called Bitcoin that allows anyone with a smartphone to be in this system. And this scares governments a lot because, financial freedom and all that other stuff. That's Indonesia is going to have their own cryptocurrency exchange in June of this year. And yeah, let's move on. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. Wow, Bitcoin's line is gone. Look at that. The other videos, Bitcoin had a gigantic line of transactions that were waiting. Not anymore. Do hope you've all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Hope you are having a good week. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.